Hello, it's Rhonda Thomas, and we're just about to start Exam 1 review, chapters 1 through 7. We're going to do half of it in this video and the other half in another video. And this is also my face-to-face class, and they are here to do that in person. The difference between these problems and your static problems is these are algorithm problems, all of them. And so we want to see that you can do the work in the problems too. So we're starting off with chapter 1. We have the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says that this is a rough estimate of how to figure out an investment, how long it would take to double your money. Okay, double your money. You'll find rule of 72 calculators all over the internet. So I don't really know the math behind it, but I'm going to trust it. Okay, it's not exact. Okay, but it's just a rough estimate. So you take the number 72 in every numerator of every one of these, right? And then you look. So my first one says if the value of the land in an area is increasing 9%, how long will it take for property values to double? I'm going to put the number 9 here, and then it's going to tell me years. So I've got one that says 9, one that says 12, and one that says 6. Okay, so you'll want to do the math. Keep the percentage as a whole number. Don't change that into a decimal, because you will not get the same answer. And then I've got to go out here and put in my formula or it won't calculate right. Okay, so I've got 9 and I've got 12. So if you want to write yours down or just figure them on a calculator, okay, that's fine. Okay, and then I've got to put that into my formula here. Yep. So that's pretty easy. All right, my last one is 6. Is anybody seeing a pattern? What's the pattern? The higher the rate, what happens to the time? The less time it takes to double the money. Does everybody see that? Yep. Hopefully so. Okay, so I'm going to put these in. I'm going to put this in each cell to check it, and you get to check your work as much as you want on this. All right, I don't limit you, okay, because we're using different numbers. So my first one is showing 8 years. Now they want 1 decimal place, so I've already got a warning here that I didn't put in my decimal place. Okay, so my B becomes 6 years because that's my highest rate of return I'm earning, right? Okay, so I've got 6 here and I need to go 6.0. So I really need to, let me fix these. I'm going to put a decimal afterwards in order to make myself put in what I have in the green. Okay, so make sure you're following whatever format they're telling you in red, or you won't get it right. Okay, so this just goes to show that where is it? The higher the rate, the less time it takes to double your money. The lower the rate, the longer it takes to double your money. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to catch on to that trend, because that's how it works. Okay, I'm trying to make this be bigger here that I'm showing you. And we just did 1. I'm trying to get the check my work to show, but it's so small. Darn it. Oh, well, that's okay. Okay, next question. Let me see what it is. I'm going to go find my, oh. Okay, it's making me do it again. I guess it's making me, all right, that's fine. That's another reason why putting your answers down in something is a nice idea, in case you have to put it in again. Hopefully, and of course, I got a whole new set of numbers. All right, that's okay. Serves me no rest for the wicked. All right, so one more time. 72 divided by 5. Okay, so there's my new one. The second one is 10%. So when I went out and came back in again, it gave me a new set of numbers, which is what it's supposed to do. But that's all right. I'm not going to go back out again. Okay, and then my last one is 4%. So it's just good practice. And by the way, if you want to take this exam review more than once, you can. You won't earn any more points for that. But I think I allow you to do review as much as you want. Okay, so once again, the largest rate is the smallest amount of time. So my first one is 14.4. My middle one is 7.2, and my last one is 18 years. Whoa, to double the money. Wow, seems like a long time. Okay, so I think we have it. I'm going to check my work and go to the next one. Okay. All right, the next one. Calculate the following: future value, future value. So then the present value and the present value. So these are all 4 of the time value of money things that we have learned to work. Okay, so I am going to pull that in from my chapter 1. Let me find it. I've got it here somewhere. Yeah, all 4 time value of money problems. All 4 of them. So remember, there's a future value for $1 or one amount. There's a future value for an annuity. There is a present value for one amount. There is a present value of an annuity. Okay, so 4 tables. I'm going to put my information here into my spreadsheet. So we've got our calculator ready to go and our table. So here we go. My first one is the future value of $490. I'm going to put that right here. It's one amount for 6 years at 5%. So I'm going to put in my information here, 6 years at 5%. So we want a calculator. We're going to put, that's going to be the present value of one amount. Okay, and it's going to be 5%, and I have not put it in my calculator yet to check it. You're going to get another set of numbers. This is going to be using table A. We're looking for the future value of one amount in 6 years at 5% for me. Okay, so you put yours in, and I'm going to use my table first. Okay, so I'm going to go to the table. And this is the first table. This is using table A. All right, so I'm looking at 5% in 6 years. 5% in 6 years, 1.340. I'm going to put that factor right here, 1.340. Yep. Okay, so 656.60 is what my table's getting me. My financial calculator, we're putting the amount of the present value, payments get 0. We're looking for future value. We're putting in 5% in 6 years. Be sure to change that compounding. That'll mess you up if you don't. Okay, 656.65. So it's off a nickel, right? So that's not bad. That kind of lets me know that I think I'm right. Okay, I think I would go with what the calculator said. It seemed like there was maybe one problem that didn't, I don't know. If you put in an answer that doesn't accept it from the table, let me know and I'll give you the credit for it. So I'm going to put 656.65. Okay, you test yours at whatever variables they gave you. Okay, and remember there's 4 questions on here. So you got to go to each one. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to my second one. Sometimes it takes a little bit. if you decide to use Excel, if you ever see these weird hashtags or whatever I call them pound signs. I think you guys call them hashtags. It's just because that number won't fit in the cell and you just have to drag the number out so that it'll fit. That's all it is. All right, I'm going to my required B. Future value of $600 saved each year for 10 years in a row at 7%. Okay, so let's put that in. I've got 7% as my interest. 10 years is good. Okay, and it's $600. Now, just for reference, if you just put that $600 in the checking account with no interest at all, or in your sock drawer, you'd have $6,000 without the time value of money. I do like to put that down so I have an idea that the difference between what we invested and what it grows to is really the compounding interest that's working. Compounding interest is what causes money to grow. It's money and time. Money and time is what it takes for money to grow. All right, so then I've got to fix my interest rate here and look this up on the table. And then I'll go and plug this into the calculator. This one, we plug in the payment, and we put a 0 in the present value. So back to the tables for me. I'm going to table B. Table B is the future value of an annuity. An annuity is the same amount time after time after time. If you change the amount, you can't do it. It has to be the same. So I'm looking at 7% in 10 years. And don't be afraid to slow me down if you're having troubles. I don't want you to think that I don't want to hear from you. All right, I'm looking at 13.816. Let me put that in, 13.816. Okay, I'm looking at $8,289.60. So almost, wow, almost $2,300 more than just putting it in the checking account. Here's my financial calculator. 0 goes in the present value. Those payments, those annuity payments go in. We're looking for the future value. The higher the interest rate, the more it'll become, the more it will grow. The longer time, the more it will grow. Okay, so that's very close. Very close. Putting this answer in. These take a little longer because there's almost like 4 problems in one. Okay, so just take your time. Be sure you look and see. So now I've got, you don't have to round your answer. We found out that you can just put it in straight from the calculator with the cents and all, straight from the calculator, and it'll round it for you. So I'm going to put 82, 89, 82, 89, 87. All right. And then I'm going to do them all at once to check the work. Okay, the third one is the present value. Present value of one amount. It says the amount a person would have to deposit today at a 7% interest rate to have $900. So 8 years from now, you want, doesn't seem like much, $900 in that account. That becomes the future value. Okay, put the future value in the calculator. Okay, mine is 7%. So I got to change my number. And I'm looking at a time period of 10 years. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to take that out because that's not right. I'm going to look at table C. C is in cat, because that is the present value of one amount. Okay, not an annuity. I'm looking at 7% in 10 years. Yep. All right, so let me go look. And this is $900. Okay, $900. So I need to make sure that that's in there. Yep. So I want $900 in the account. Okay, so let's see what it's going to take. Go into the table. Table C, present value of $1. So mine is 7% in 10 years. I've got to change all my places so I don't get confused. 7% in 10 years. 7% in 10 years is 0.508. 0.508. 0.508. Okay. Let's see if my calculator gives me something similar. Present value is what we're looking for. No payments. We want $900 in the future. 10 years. Present value, 457. 457.51. Yes, that's very close to what we found in the table. So I think you could be pretty confident that you're putting in the right information both places. Okay, so that's why I do this. We can all key in the wrong thing. It happens all the time. Last one, the very last one is a present value of an annuity. I've got 9% in 10 years. Okay, present value of an annuity, 9% in 10 years. Okay, we want to be able to take out $600 each year for 10 years, right? So if you thought about that from a perspective of today's money, that'd be like having a pot of $6,000 that you would pull out 610 times. But we're including time value of money now. So we shouldn't have to put aside near amount. We shouldn't have to put aside, we should be able to put aside less than the $6,000. All right, so one more time. Here's what we're doing. We want to be able to pull out $600, 10 years in a row. I'm looking at 9% in 10 years. Okay, I need to go find the factor that works for that with the problem. So 9. Okay, and this is going to be the last table, table D. Okay, table D. So table D uses 9% in 10 years. We're looking at 6.418. I'm putting that in right here, 6.418. So $3,850.80. That's what I got so far. When I put this in the calculator, we're looking for the present value. We want to pull out $600. This is the only time you put a 0 in the future value. Okay, 0 in future value. I'm looking at 9% 10 years. Okay, so I've got a bunch of areas that I need to make all the same, so I don't have to keep keying these in. That's all right. Let's see if it comes to anything close to what the table said. Yes, very close. So 38, 50, 59. So I should be able to put either one of those in, and this should be my fourth answer. So I know this one takes a little bit, but if you practice, it should work out okay. Okay, let me see if I got them all right or not. Uh-oh, something's not right. Okay, I got to go back to my number 3. So see, having all my information was helpful, and I should be able to fix this pretty quickly. Okay, so something I've missed, or it might be something wrong on their part, but I'm going to assume it's me first. I'm going back. Okay, if you get one that is wrong, try again. Okay, mine says the amount a person would have to deposit today at 7% to have 8 years from now. That's what's wrong. So my time was wrong. But once again, I don't have to do a whole lot of work to make this happen. I do have to go look up the factor. I misread it. Okay, so back to this. I want table C, the present value of just one amount. So if I want $900 in the future, and I've got 7% for 8 years now, 7%, 8 years. So I have 0.582. Let me put that in, 0.582. So 423.80, and I'm going to rekey it in. Looking for the present value. Payments are 0. I want $900 in the future. We're looking at 7% in 8 years. I'm going to double check that. And I can't seem to remember. Okay, 8 years, 7% in 8 years. Let me fix that. Like I said, I should have to only enter this in once and all those cells should copy it, but I haven't put all that in. All right, let me go see what the calculator is saying. Okay, go. $523.81. That's pretty close. It's off a penny. Okay, off a penny. So let's see if I got it right this time. 7% in 8 years. Okay, I'm putting in 523.80. Okay, let me check my work. Okay, I think I got it because I got the green circle with the white check mark means that you got all 4 correct. Okay, so that one might take a little bit, but it's good practice for what we need to do. Okay, moving on. Anybody have any questions? I don't hear anything. So, okay, onward we go, I think, to the next question, number 3. Now we're getting down to just some different ones here. All right, this one, and I'll pick one of these calculations now because I've got an example of all 4 of them. I should just be able to use whatever I need. So Carla France deposits $4,200 a year into her retirement account. If these funds have an average earning of minus 6% in 40 years. So this is growing your retirement fund. So the plan is to put that aside year after year after year, which is an annuity. We're trying to find out what it will be 40 years from now. So this is, I think, the most popular calculation when it comes to time value of money is how much something will be in the future. Okay, how much will it build to? Try this again. Okay, future value of an annuity. You say, how do I know it's an annuity? Because it's happening. She's putting that in 40 times. Okay, 40 times. So, and this is number 3. Okay, $4,200. More than one. She's found a 6% and she's got 40-year timeline. Boy, that's awesome. They say to start early. The earlier you start, the better. Okay, all right. Well, if she socked that 4,200 away in an account that does not pay time value of money, just for fun, $168,000, right? Let's see how much more time interest and time is going to help out with that. All right. Once again, 6% in 40 years. Okay, so that's going to be quite different. $40 years. I'm going to use table B, 6% in 40 years. that's going to be a pretty big number on the table. Okay, so table B, that's the one we tend to use the most. Okay, and 40, yeah, it does include 40 years down here. So I got 154,762. Yep. 154,762. Oh, big number. Okay, big number. Okay, I got 650,000 basically would be your nest egg by putting it in this account. So over $500,000, right? Let's put it in the financial calculator. See what it tells us. So the payments are 4,200. 6% for 40 years. Yep. Looks like 650,000 is a solid number. Okay, so I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's put that in. She's not quite a millionaire, but she's more than halfway there. Okay, so it rounded it down for me, right? And you want to check your work. Make sure you're right. Go back and fix it if you're not. Okay. Once again, you're going to have to understand whether it's an annuity or one amount. Okay. Number 4, this is a finance company advertises on television that they will pay you $70,000 now, that's today's money, in exchange for annual payments that you're receiving already of $13,500. Once again, that can oftentimes be a settlement of some sort that you've received. If you've won a settlement, if you've got insurance, an insurance settlement, if you've won a lawsuit, something like that. They tend to pay on an annuity basis, which means a certain amount each year. It has to be the same amount. So what we basically are going to do, and then it says, over the next 11 years, you estimate the time value of money is 15%. Wow, that's pretty big. Okay, I'm going to go get this from my chapter 1. So this is going to be the present value of, okay, you're going to find out what the present value is, and this is a payment. So this is the present value of an annuity. Okay, and then there's the interest that you would want to put in. Give me just a second. I'm going to go find this in chapter 1. Okay, I know I've got this on here. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm kind of just going to work away up here, see if I can't. Here it is, offer to buy an annuity. Offer to buy an annuity. I would write down how much they're offering to buy it for. That's going to matter. Okay, so this is number 4. All right, so okay, one more time. First, you want to find out what the present value is. What is the present value of your annuity you're getting, right? So our annuity is, my annuity is 70,000. So I'm going to put that in as my payment. To figure the present value of it, I've needed to know the interest rate, which is 15, or the time value of money is 15%, and I'm looking at 11 years. Okay, you need to figure that out. And I'm looking at 15%, 11 years. Okay, and our payments are 70,000. Okay, and then I've got to look on table D for doing it the table way. Okay, so one more time, 15 years, 15%, 11 years. You can really confuse your numbers if you're not paying attention. Well, all right, I gotta go look up this factor. Okay, look up the factor on the table. We're using table D. I'm looking at 15%. So I gotta go down here. Very rarely have I had to go down to the second part of this table. 15% in 11 years. So 5.234. 5.234. That doesn't seem right. I don't think so. Let me go back to my see how I've, okay, let me just go back. We'll pay you 70, but how, okay. For an annual payment. Oh, okay, what did I do? Hang on. Present value of an annuity. Oh, here it is, here it is. Watch it, watch it. That's the, yep, okay. Here's why I put this amount down that they're offering to buy it from you. Put that down. That is not the payment. Okay, that's the payment. That's the one-time payment that they're offering you. The payment I'm receiving from my annuity is 13,500. There we go. Woo. I was going, what's happening here? All right, 13,500. That's different. Okay, so here is what my annuity is worth in today's money. I'm going to plug that into the calculator and see if things seem right. See, you have to check for reasonableness too while you're doing this business. Okay, you're going to put the 0 in the future value. We're going to have 15% in 11 years. And we want the present value, 70,655.11. That's very close. So I think you could put either one of those in. The first thing they want to know is what is the present value of your annuity? Okay, what is it? Okay, so put it in. It ought to be something pretty close to what they're offering you. Okay, pretty close. So they're offering $70,000 for something that has, for me, today's value of $70,655. The idea is that if they don't offer you more than its present value, then you would say no. But to me, mine is very close. Mine is off like less than $700, right? So if I really wanted that money now, instead of waiting for 11 years into the future for it to come in, maybe I had a bill to pay or something, or I needed to put a down payment on a house or something, then the difference between the present value of your annuity and what they're offering you, that is their profit. Okay, that's their profit. Logan, are you completely done with your review?
He's got it.
Okay, I was like, man, you are a whiz. Okay, and I wasn't complaining. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Thank you, thank you. I know somebody left their charger in here. And I hope we can figure out who, because I know they're going to be missing it. Okay, so once again, the idea was be sure to put down what they're offering you first. And that's what I put down as my payment. So I was all hosed up. So, and then you can find out, and I think the majority of us, I don't think there's anybody that has a present value that's less than the offer. Did anybody find it? Or if you haven't done it yet? Okay, so I think we all have more than the offer, and I think we all say no. Okay, onward we go. Okay, onward we go to number 5. So we're looking at J-Lo here. So we're going to do number 5. Okay, this one is looking at a master's degree, they have projections. If you have an advanced degree, about how much additional money you might make a year, right? So this one says that she would earn maybe an additional $6,000 a year for the next 25 years. So we would want to see how much that is in what I call real money, which is just 6,000 times 25. And then we're going to see how much it builds to in the future. And this is happening every year. So it becomes the future value of an annuity. Stand by. I'll grab this from my chapter 1. Okay. Actually, nope, I can get it right from my, I think I'm okay on time value of money. I got to go up here. I need the future value of an annuity is all I got to copy. So let me put this in for this one. Okay. Future value of an annuity. Mine is, now here's your rate. Your rate is down here in the second part of it. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is if you earn $6,000 more a year because of your master's degree, in total real money, that's $150,000 extra. Okay. So I'm going to put that. That's what the additional earnings are. Okay. So, and then the next one is the future value. And that's where they give you your rate. Couldn't find my rate up here. I had to go down here and look. Okay. So now I'm going to put this into the calculator and talk my way through this. All right. So we're looking at 10%, 25 years before she plans to retire, I guess. Maybe she got her master's degree a little later in life or whatever. That's okay. All right. So we're looking at table B. It's the future value of an annuity. 10%, 25 years. And I got to go find my factor. All right. So my factor table is going to be table B, future value of an annuity. 10%. Let me put that down. 10% in 25 years. Yep. Okay. So 10% in 25 years is 0.092. 0.092. So it looks like boop, boop, boop. I'm looking at the wrong table. Yep. See how that is not what I was looking for? New. We're looking at something more than this. So it's so easy to grab the wrong table or to put it in the wrong variable. This is table B. Table B. So it happens to the best of us to pick the wrong thing. 98.347. 98.347. There we go. Now I'm going to plug this into the calculator. Hopefully I'll get an answer close to that. Okay, present value is 0. Additional 6,000 a year for that master's degree. Okay, 10% for 25 years. Yep, 590,000. Okay, so either one of those should work off just a few cents. And I'm going to put that in. So quite a bit more value once you've applied time value of money to it. Okay, so, all right, now let me check it. Okay, good. All right, very good. That was number 5. Oops. All right, we're ready for 6, I believe. Try to keep it moving. Try not to go too fast, because like I said, I know you have your own numbers to work on. Okay, we're looking at 2 job offers here. Okay, 2 job offers. Let me go get that from my chapter 1. Here, 2 job offers. Anything you have to compare. I'm a firm believer of putting it down side by side. So I think this is chapter 2 now. Chapter 2 deals more with career things. Okay, career things. So let me look here. 2 jobs. Think job offers. Okay, I think it's this one, but I'll double check. Okay, taxable and non-taxable benefits. Okay, that's different. All right. So let me get that one. Here it is. Here it is. This has to do with federal income tax. Yep. And I don't think they should have asked you about this in 2. I think they should have waited till 4 to ask you, but that's okay. Okay, so here's what we have. Let's first see what our tax rate is. Okay, mine is a 10% tax rate, so that's quite different than the last time I did this. I have 28. So make sure you find your tax rate. You say, where are you finding that? Right here in that last sentence. There's your tax rate. Okay, I'm looking at job 1. Put the amount of the salary for job 1 down. Put the amount of the salary for job 2 down. If you were just looking at salary alone and nothing else, then you probably would take job 1 because you make a little more in salary. Now we're going to look at the benefits. One benefit, they both are non-taxable benefits. That's good. So put down the amount of the benefit, put it down somewhere. Mine is $5,100 for job 1. My benefit for job 2 is $5,525. And I've got to divide by 1 minus 0.10. Okay, like I said, the last time I did this, I was looking at a tax bracket that was quite a bit higher. If you get a 28% tax bracket, you'll want to divide by 72. I'm going to divide by 90. 90. Okay, I may get a weird number, but that's okay. And this is money. Money only goes to 2 decimals, right? 2 decimals. Okay, so here's what I have. Monetary value. The monetary value is the salary plus those benefits turned it. We've got to change it like they would be taxed. Okay, we're going to pretend they would be taxed. So if you had a taxable benefit of $5,100 or $5,525, you would add the taxes back by taking that amount and divide it by 1 minus your tax rate. Okay, so I'm looking at a benefit of, let me change this number. This is $5,666.67. So I don't want this to be such a big, going the wrong direction. Getting it down to just 2. Okay, just 2 decimals. And they want it to the nearest whole number. That's okay. But I want it down to 2 decimals. And then I also want my answer 2 decimals. So I guess I could have done that. Okay, back it up. And then you figure out which job seems to be the better option. I guess the only criteria is money. Okay, the only criteria in this one is money. All right, so it looks that maybe both jobs are in the same city, whatever. All right, let's put the numbers down. So my job 1 is $45,866.67. Job 2, $44,438.89. Let me see if I'm anywhere in the ballpark of what I'm supposed to be doing. Yep. Just didn't have an answered number 2 yet. If you need help, tell me now. Tell me now, and I'll plug this into my little spreadsheet here. Does anybody have troubles with this? I think sometimes the trouble is finding the tax rate because I don't know, it just doesn't seem to stick out very well. So if all you're basing it on is higher monetary value, in fact, they didn't ask you which one you're going to choose. They just want to tell them which one has higher monetary value. For me, it's job 1. Okay, job 1 seems to be the biggest if I've got everything in there correctly. You might have job 2 be your highest monetary value. To remember to do this, you want to add your salary to your non-taxable benefit that's had the taxes added back to it. I know that sounds weird, but that's how they want it. Okay, so we're going to just try to give them what they're asking for. Okay. If you need me to work it, let me know. Let me know. Okay, I'm moving on. Ava Kelly estimates that taking some classes would result in earning extra $5,600 a year for the next 20 years. This is that future value of an annuity thing. Based on an annual interest rate of 8%, calculate the future value of these classes. So once again, this is number 7, and it's going to be a future value of an annuity. Okay, so let me go get this. Here it is. I'll put this in down here and put in the information that I get. Okay. Future value of an annuity. Mine is 8%. Write it down, not 18%, 8%. I'm looking at 20 years. So she's planning to work this job 20 more years. Additional 5,600. Okay. Once again, I like to calculate what it would be in what I call real money without time value of money. She could sock that aside in a checking account and have 112,000. So whatever I get down here better be higher than that, or I'm not doing it right. Okay, so what we got, 8%, 20 years. We're going to use table B, which is the future value of an annuity, 8% in 20 years. Okay, gotta go find my factor. 8% in 20 years. We're looking at, this is where I sometimes get off track. This is, I guess you can make it bigger, but it starts to become unreadable, seems like. All right, 8% in 20 years, 45.762. 45.762. Okay, I'm looking at 256,267. Throwing that in the calculator. Extra money that she's decided not to spend, which is pretty smart. Future value, yep, very close. 256,267. Putting that in my answer. Checking my work. Looks like it's good. Okay, getting plenty of practice on the future value of annuity stuff, which is okay. Number 8. Turn to question. Okay, here is that big one. Okay, here's the big one. This is, it's got 20 items here. You say, how do you know? Because I've counted it a lot of times. They got 10 on one side and 10 on another. Okay, so I'm going to go get my problem. I would make a table out of this. Okay, you don't have to write down the items if you don't want to. I can't remember. I think this is chapter 3. I don't see it in 2. Okay, yep, here it is. So if you want to put together a set of columns like this, even on a piece of paper, you're going to have to do something with it so that you can calculate it. All right, let me put this in. Okay. Let me move this over quite a bit, actually. And I've got to key in the amounts of each of these things. So this says, based on the following data, determine the total assets, the total liabilities, the net worth, the cash inflow, and the total cash outflow. Okay. Assets are something of value. Debt is, or liabilities are something that we owe. Okay. There's only one cash in for this whole problem, and that is your take-home salary. So before I put anything else in, I'm putting that thing in because I know that's my salary and that's my only entry in that column. That's considered cash in. They call it inflows and outflows. I call it income and expenses, and it's by the month. Okay, it's by the month. So be sure to keep that in mind when you classify this stuff. Okay, the first thing is rent. My rent for the month is $15.20. Okay. My checking account cash is $920, and it's an asset. Spending for food. Okay, wow, $1,260. Okay. $1,260 is my spending for food. My automobile. One way you can think of an asset is, can I sell it? Could I sell it for cash? Okay, sometimes that helps a little bit. Or is it already cash, like cash in the checking account or cash in your savings account? Cash in your checking account is more liquid than the savings account. You say, why is that? Because I have a debit card that goes with my checking account or a check that I could pay just about anything right now. Okay, savings account, you might have to go to the bank or to the ATM or whatever to go get the money. Okay, we used to have to call the bank and say, I'd like a check from my savings for a certain amount, and they would have to have you come and get it. Okay, so the auto is an asset. So here's what I want. Make sure that you put rent under your expenses or your outflows. Make sure you put cash under your assets. Make sure you put spending food under your cash outflows, expenses, and your automobile is an asset. Here comes your first liability. It's the credit card balance. Balance, not the payment on it, but the balance. Okay, put that in. Auto insurance, that is the payment you're making. I wish they would have been a little clearer with their words. That ought to say auto insurance payment for the month. Auto insurance payment for the month. Okay. Your home entertainment center. Could you sell that? Yep. Your home entertainment center. They're saying it values at whatever it says there. That's an asset. So $32.90 is mine. Lunches. Lunches would be considered by the month. Parking at work, $194. The computer that you own. Okay, it has a value that you could probably turn around and sell for cash if you had to. Now here's one, a clothing purchase. If you were to take all of your clothes and add up their values, you could probably put wardrobe down, and that probably be an asset. Not quite the same as a car or a house, but but the clothing purchase is how much they're allowing themselves to use a month. Okay, so my clothing purchase allotment or allowance is 146. So you should have all 10 items right here. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under expenses. 1 liability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, I haven't done savings yet. Sorry, I'm just to here. I'm just to the clothing purchase. Sorry, here's where I'm at. Let me put a line in between here so I can remember what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the first set of 10. This is the second set. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3. And you could, here's what's cool about Excel. I can highlight all of those and it tells me down at the bottom that the count is 10. The count is 10. So then I got the other 10 here. All right, salary. I've already put that in. My savings, 2420. Now, here's the balance on my education loan, 2340. That's a liability. The telephone bill, that's for the month. That's the only one they did a good job describing. Rent for the month is good. You should always put down how often you pay something for the month. Otherwise, people don't know. Okay, $104. Your loan payment for the month. For the month. Yes, it's paying down on a liability, but I think we've already got the liability of that here. This is just making a payment on it. Household assets. You could turn around and sell those and turn them into cash. Electric bill for the month. Electric bill for the month, $150. Your donations for a month, $148. Your stock investment has a value that you could sell and get cash for. Okay, so there's the value of that. The last item is your restaurant spending. Restaurant spending. So here's a couple of tricks to this problem if you happen to get it on your test. Couple tricks. Whatever you get in income, look what your expenses are. Did everybody notice this? I want to give you a heads up. These are the same number. So you spend every dime that you bring home in this problem. Okay, I think that's a little unusual. But anyway, don't forget then your net worth is simply your assets minus your liabilities. It is not another column that you have to keep track of something. It's just to give us a chance to find out what your net worth is. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my assets. Okay, my liabilities, my net worth, my cash inflow, cash outflow. Give it a shot. See if I missed anything. Nope, don't think so. All right, 3 more and we'll call it good for today. Okay, here are 3. A future value of a savings deposit. That's future value of one amount. Future value of saving $2,050 a year for 5 years in a row. They should say each year on that one. And then a present value. So 2 future values to solve and 1 present value. Okay, so I'm going to go get my, and this was number 8. Okay, this was number 8. So I'm going to go get my time value of money things here. So the first one, future value of one amount. So that is up here. We don't do that one as much. Actually, I need all of these. I need these 3. Put them in. Okay, this is number 9. Okay. And you put in your particulars and I'll do mine. And if you need help, please ask. Okay. That one is 8 years. Perfect. Keep talking because I know I'm making a video and I like to try to narrate what I'm doing, even though it might get on your nerves. Okay, first one is that table A. $1.172. Okay, future value. That one looks pretty good. I'm going to do all 3 and then put them in. Okay. I'm putting it in right now. Okay, first one for me. Okay. That 2% really hurt me. All right, future value of for 5 years, 3%. So if you're done, if you're finished, you can be on your way. I'm going to go ahead and finish this video. Okay, so if you're done, that's fine. If you need to keep going, I'm gonna finish this in 10 and 11. So just bear with me, okay? We'll get it done for you, and then I'll do the other half on a video and next Tuesday. Okay, so if you need to leave, if you have some left over from today that you need next week, I can get those for you or help you a little bit. Okay, so I know some of you are ready to go, so that's fine. Just make sure you understand the problems. So good practice. This is just drilling. Just drilling. You doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. No noise is good. Because that means people are doing all right. Okay, I need the future value of an annuity at 3% in 5 years. 5 years, 5.309. 5.309. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's right. All right, thanks for coming in, Shelley. Good to see you. Okay, like I said, I'm going to keep going because I want to get this video done. Okay, for anybody who else is out there. So my payments are the amount that I'm planning to set aside each year. I'm earning 3%, 5 years. Future value. Okay, coming pretty close there. Put that in. Okay, my last one is present value. So present value of a savings account. This is how much we want in the future. Okay, how much we want in the future. So we got to know what we got to put in today so that it grows to a certain amount. So you want to be on your way? That's okay. I'm going to keep rolling. The camera's still rolling. That's why everybody was so quiet. That's funny. We don't have to be real quiet. Okay. Have a good one. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Get this done. There's one less thing off my plate.
I just.
That's okay. That means you know what you're doing. Huh? Except for the one of them?
One of them was tricky, I didn't stop your roll.
That's okay. Was that the columns?
It was number 6.
Okay.
I kept it, the answers that I kept coming back to.
That's the changing the non-taxable. Okay, right? That's the salary, comparing the two jobs.
Yeah.
Okay,
My answer, I kept coming back.
okay, hang on just a minute, or if you have somewhere to be on your way, I'll answer it Tuesday before it's due, if you want, okay? So, all right, or you can give it a try. So you can look at the video if you want. It's a matter of, it's usually that tax rate that you got to take. Yeah, you got to turn it into 1 minus the tax rate. 1 minus the tax rate. I know, I was going pretty fast too. My tax rate was 10%. So 1 minus 10 is 0.9, right? So yours is 0.85 that you divide that benefit by. Take the benefit amount divided by 1 minus your tax rate.
Okay.
And it'll be a bigger number than the benefit because that benefit, you don't pay taxes on it. So it's even more beneficial than the amount you're getting. I know that sounds weird,
Yeah.
but because you don't have to pay taxes on it, it's even more beneficial. Okay, it's more money for you. Okay, maybe you can find it. So give it a try, and if not, I'll make sure you know how to do it next week. Okay. You betcha. You betcha. Have a good weekend. Yeah, this is Thursday. Wow. Okay, back to me here. I'm gonna get through this. So, okay, to the table I go. Future or present value of a future. So we want 600. Mine is, I want 6,250 in the future. I want to know how much I have to set aside today so that it'll grow to that amount. And we're only getting 2% in 4 years. So that's going to be pretty close to what that amount is, because 2% is really not very much. So 2% in 4 years is 0.924. Let me put that in here, 0.924. So we're going to have to put in $5,775 at 2% in 4 years before it'll grow to 6,250. Let me try this on the calculator now. Okay, the zero, we're looking for the present value. We want it to be 6,250 in the future. Payments get a 0, 6,250. I only found an interest rate of 2%, and I'm only giving it 4 years. So there it is. 577, 4.03. Okay, I don't think anybody else is out here. Okay, but I'm going to stop my video for a moment and I'll be back.
No, appreciate that very much.
Okay, we're back. Let's see here. Now I'm finishing my present value. I'm ready to put this amount in now. Okay, so 5,775. Okay, should be the amount I need to put in today at 2% for 4 years so that it will grow to my future value of $6,250. So I'm going to check my work now, make sure it's right. I think so. There it is. Okay, we're good, I think. Return to question. There we go. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 10. Got 2 more to finish this video. All right. Number 10 is Kara received a gift of $11,500 for graduation. If she puts that in an account that pays 7%, how much will be in that account in 20 years? All right. So kind of like a little nest egg. Let's see what we get here. Just a second. I'm going to put this in. So this is the future value of one amount, okay? Because it's just the one amount that she's got. It's putting the future value. So I'm going to borrow this future value one here and bring it down. This is worth doing. Okay, future value of one amount. She got $11,500 for graduation. Wow, that's nice. Okay, what is the future value of it if she socks it away in an account that pays 7%? Oops. And leaves it there for 20 years to let it build and build, but she's not going to add any more to it, right? So we want 7% and 20 years. Yep. I'm going to make sure I got my numbers right. 20. And then I got to go find the table. This is going to be table A because it's one amount that she has to work with, but quite a while in time. Okay, so I'm going to go get the factor from the table. Okay, that's table A. And we're looking at 7% in 20 years. A 7% in 20 years. I got 3.870. 3.870. Okay, 44,505 is what my table's given me. Present value is the amount of the gift. Okay, we don't know what the future value is. That's what we're trying to solve. 7% in 20 years. So she's more than tripled her money, quadrupled her money, almost quadrupled her money. So it looks like that seems to be right. Okay. So I'm going to put that in my answer. The value of the gift in 20 years, 44,505. That's what I'm going to put in from my answer from the table. Yep. Okay, one more. And then we'll end this video for the first half of the review. Okay, first half of the review. Go to number 11. All right, this is taxes. Okay, so this is going to be number 11. All right, and this, remember, chapter 4 is federal income tax. We have to think about calculating. Okay, so let me go get my problem from number 4. Yep. And I think this is solving for, let me just look. Oh, here. Okay, I may have to go look for it on a different, hang on a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. We're talking about a problem that has to do with federal income tax. All right, so it says, what would be Ross's report as taxable income? Okay, taxable income goes through a calculation based on the information they give you. So we're going to put our gross salary at the top, 68,320. There's certain types of income, for instance, interest earnings and dividend income, both of those are taxed. So we want to put or figured in your taxable income. Let's just put that to you. You've got to put that in. So 215 is my dividends. Then I get something called my gross income, which is all of it. Then it says something about an adjustment. Okay, an adjustment is not the same as a deduction, but I got to put it in there because I'm going to subtract whatever the adjustment is. Now I'm ready for my AGI, and then I'm going to look. My standard deduction is 14,600. My itemized is 12,600. You want to take the bigger. Okay, standard is bigger in this case, is bigger. All right, so pick the bigger one because that means you have less income to be taxed on. So if my calculations are correct, 52,265 is what we have. 52,265. So once again, if people say I'm taxed on every dollar I make, that's not true. Not true. You actually, this is where the amount you're going to be taxed on, not your gross, okay? And that's about 16,000 something that they're not being federally income taxed on. So there you have it, okay? That's it for this video, all right? We will do another video for the second half, which will be problems 12 through 22, all right? See you guys later.